Hello, this is Christi and with Little Roots Ranch, and today we're going to talk about transplanting leeks. So as everyone knows, I use soil blocks almost exclusively, and so that's what these were grown in. I started these when about mid-January. You can see I usually do multi-sowing, but these are single ones. You can see the roots are ready to go into their new homes. And it is the beginning of March, and it's time to put the leeks out into the garden. And so there are a couple ways of doing that. One of them is trenching, which I do. I think the mistake that most people make is by planting them on the soil surface, which there isn't anything wrong with that, but you're going to have to hill up the dirt around it or find another way in order to get that blanching. You know, the leeks with the long, like the large white part that is more of the edible part, that's what you're going for. And so if I just plant this exactly like that, then this part will stay green, and as it grows, only the part underneath the soil will be shielded from the sun and blanch or turn white. But if I bury those deeply, then that's the way that I can achieve that, and that's what I choose to do. So the great thing about leeks or alliums in general, the onion family, is that they are the most cold hardy thing that anybody will grow for the most part. I don't know if that's a scientific fact, but I find it true on my farm. Anyways, so it's early spring, and so what I'm going to do is put them into the trenches. For those who don't know, that I do no-till method, and so you can see some of my beds here. You can't tell where the camera is, but you can see I have the compost just laid on here, and then wood chips for my pathways. And I have 30-inch beds and 18-inch walkways. And but obviously I do dig down to build the trenches. And so I've actually built my first one. Let's see if you can see it here. And so it's about 6 inches deep. For the actual soil blocks, you can see that there. Generally, I usually do it when they're about, ideally is pencil, like when they're pencil thick, but any size will really be fine. And then you want to put them in where it's only going to be like 1 inch or 2 that is sticking up above the surface. And so for these ones, I've already dug out my hole. And so I plant them 6 inches apart. And then for each row, and of course I've got 30-inch beds, so that's 5 soil blocks or 5 plants, or unless I'm growing multiples. And then I place the next one and just go down the row for as many as I have. So here you can see, yeah, you can kind of see. So I'm just going to set it here. And an interesting thing, oh, this one's sticking together. An interesting thing is that with the trenching, and this is important, is that you're not actually going to fill them up while you're like, I'm not going to put the dirt back in there. I'm just going to let nature do that through the rain and whatnot, because they're still delicate and they're not very strong. I mean, they're strong, but not strong enough. Let's see, I need one more. Let's see. There we go. And so I think, let's see, there you go. So there you can see all 5 of them are in there. And so I'll just leave them like that. I'm going to tuck in a little bit of dirt around the base so that they're flat. But other than that, there will still be about a 4-inch or so hole. You can see by the size of my hand. I think I'm not the best at the camera work. I apologize. And then so that'll just slowly fill in. By the time late spring comes or whatnot, the soil will be here, and then I'll have that part of it blanched. And then I'll have beautiful leeks. So once you've got all of your leek transplants trenched, of course, the next step is to wait, which is the hardest thing to do. But they are well worth the wait. And try and show my picture. And so as you can see, that leeks are easy to transplant. Do you transplant them in trenches, or do you dig individual holes, or just set them on the surface? Or are you brand new to leek transplanting, growing, or gardening in general, which is totally fine? Go ahead and drop your answer down below, and I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions on leek transplanting, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those. I've got a million leeks to transplant, so I will be doing that literally all day. And also getting my onions and my spring onions transplanted. Those I don't have to bury though and dig trenches. But thank you, have a great day, and happy gardening or growing.